Carrie and I got together today and actually had the pleasure of going for a workout together. And then we wanted to have, obviously, a healthy lunch after our workout. So we thought we would make some basil pesto pasta. And we thought we'd share with you guys the recipe. So we're going to kind of get started here. Carrie's going to start with making the pesto and kind of tell you how that goes. And I'm going to prepare some other ingredients.
Okay, so I've got roughly 2 cups of packed basil. Now I'm going to give you a warning. I don't really measure anything. So I'm going to give you rough measurements, but that's how we get things done so much faster in the kitchen is we don't really measure anything other than when we bake. So I did want to throw that disclaimer out there. So after I put my basil in, I'm going to grate some lemon zest in there. It's really optional, but it really does enhance the flavor of the pesto.
Now, you know, another good tip is if you use essential oils and you don't have lemon, you could also add lemon essential oil to this. That would be delicious. And also, I like to make sure that, you know, I may not buy everything organic, and I know you probably feel the same way. I may not buy everything organic, but when it comes to things like the rind of a fruit, a citrus fruit, it really is important to try and get organic if you can, so that you obviously don't have those pesticides and chemicals that can hide in there.
And really all I did was take off only the yellow part. So once you can see that it kind of turns white, the pith, and that's really bitter, so you don't want to get that in there. So next I'm going to use my microplane to grate some garlic. And the reason why it's better to grate it in versus just throwing it in is that you don't want to bite down on a big hunk of garlic. And sometimes things don't get that well blended in here, just, you know,
the blade's kind of big. And,
So it's best to grate it in there. So I've got that. And now a great tip to use, like I hate using a ton of different tools when I'm cooking something because that just means more to wash. So I love using this microplane as a little seed catcher. So I just squeeze the lemon over the microplane. And sometimes a seed will fall in there like one just did. But for the most part, that you catch all of them. So that's a really good tip. So I'm going to squeeze in the juice of 1 lemon.
Excellent.
Yeah, and as you can see, most of it stayed on there. I'm going to pick out this seed right here. So after that, I'm going to put in roughly 1/4 of a cup of sunflower seeds.
I'm going to add your salt and pepper as you do that. You want a decent amount of salt because really, you know, there's not really any other seasoning going in here, you know. I mean, it's got a lot of big, bold flavors, but a good amount of salt and pepper.
And then next I'm going to add some nutritional yeast. And this is a great substitute. If you're not familiar with it, it's a good substitute that a lot of vegan recipes call for. And it's something that I don't think even we didn't use for a long time. We just didn't know it existed. But I mean, it has a very cheesy flavor. So it's good to kind of, you know, in a lot of different recipes. But this, you know, pesto usually always calls for cheese. So what would you say how much that is?
I'd say you want to add about 1/4 of a cup.
Okay. Yeah, I might need a little bit more than this. It's really going to give it some great depth of flavor too.
Now, you know, traditionally you would add Parmesan cheese to this, but again, this is really a vegan version. Now, you're free to obviously modify it however you want. Add your Parmesan cheese if you want, but if you get Parmesan cheese, make sure that you get the kind that is the real Parmesan cheese, like the Parmigiano Reggiano, that has the rind on it and then freshly grated in there. It makes a huge difference. And then another thing is, this is really, if you have anybody in your family with a nut allergy, we've used sunflower seeds, so that kind of eliminates that, because normally you would use pine nuts in a traditional basil pesto. I don't really even care for the taste of pine nuts as much as I do like a sunflower seed, so that's just another tip. You could use walnuts, I mean any other really nut that you wanted to, or again, this just makes it nut-free.
And pine nuts are expensive, so this is a budget-friendly thing. So I'm going to... Yeah, definitely need to put that on there, else we're going to have stuff flying everywhere. Which way is it? This way goes like this. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to buzz it up.
And you're probably going to have to just... open this, take a look at it, just until it gets to the consistency that you want, which is a little bit creamy. We need to kind of scrape down the sides a little bit and then kind of give it another little buzz, and then that's pretty much all there is to it. Yeah. That looks pretty perfect. Now you can leave it a little bit chunkier if you like it that way, or again, you can get it smoother. Carrie's going to go ahead and mix this up while I show you how to make a really tasty, easy salad dressing. So what we've got here is just a little bit of fusilli pasta that we've already cooked, and this is quinoa and brown rice pasta. So super healthy, lots of protein and fiber in that. And I want to share with you one of my favorite tips with making salad dressings. So salad dressings are so easy and inexpensive to make. If you make them at home, they don't have all those chemicals and pesticides. You can make a new flavor every week. It keeps for 1 to 2 weeks in your refrigerator. It's perfect. So what I'm actually using here, one of my favorite flavor enhancers for salad dressing that I know we both use a lot is Dijon mustard.
It really makes it thick too.
Yes,
I love that.
It
Not
makes
so
the
runny.
consistency. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. This is the bottom of my jar of Dijon mustard, and so I'm going to actually use what I have left and use this as my vessel to kind of mix it up and store it in. So in here I have the Dijon mustard. I'd say there's probably about a tablespoon, or actually probably maybe a little less than that, of the Dijon mustard. And then I also chopped up some shallots. Shallot is such a great flavor, crossed kind of between onion and garlic, and just perfect. I'm going to add red wine vinegar. Now, traditionally, salad dressings are really a 3 to 1 ratio of oil, 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. We kind of like ours a little bit tangier. I usually kind of go even, about a 1 to 1 ratio. So now I'm going to add the olive oil. Will you throw in some salt and pepper for me? Salt and pepper in there. And then the other tip I wanted to give you, those ends of garlic that Carrie grated a few minutes ago, guys, I never throw those things away. I mean, this is just, it sounds silly, but this right here will flavor, even if I didn't put the shallot in, it will totally flavor salad dressing.
I always throw mine away, so now I'm going to start saving them.
I throw it in my salad dressing.
Yeah.
You don't want to eat that part because it's obviously going to be very strong. But then all you do is just shake it up, and then you're pretty much good to go to put it on your salad. You want to add, I had some sun-dried tomatoes, and I thought that would go perfect with the pasta. We're going to eat this. I think they're pretty thin, so I think we're good. What I've got here is a mixture of just some lettuce, some alfalfa sprouts, some carrots, and raisins. I love raisins in salad. And, we're just going to drizzle a little bit of salad dressing on there. You could add to this pasta, you could add some leftover chicken. You could add some artichoke hearts. You could really add anything to it. You could add tuna to it. You could add tofu, anything like that. I mean, look how gorgeous that is.
It's very green.
Yes. So you tasted it? It
yes.
tastes good? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Really important, always taste your food for seasoning. Add a little more salt, pepper, add a little more lemon juice if you feel like it needs that. I think that one of the things that we, really want to encourage you to do is just play around with it and make any recipe that you see, kind of make it your own. As long as you're kind of tasting, you'll get the hang of it and learn how to season things to the way that you and your family like them. So we're going to go have our lunch now, and we hope this was helpful and you'll make some pesto pasta.